Hi, I'm Olivia, and this is your professional communication tactics lesson. I'm actually a graduate of Coast Mountain College's business administration program. Yay! It's quite the accomplishment. And I can say I worked incredibly diligently for 2 years, knowing the incentive I had put out for myself was a trip that I was going to book to celebrate my diploma. So I looked forward to this day and night. I was emotionally attached to the incentive. That is what I thought about while I was spending hours studying. Graduation came and I got on the phone with the airline. And I was so excited. I heard the lady on the other end say, "Miss, I've denied your travel request. You let your points expire. You cannot use expired points to book your flight." What? Are you kidding me? I took a deep breath to calm down. And after I'd calmed down, I thought, you know what? This lady, she could use a lesson in a passive voice while delivering bad news. Today I'm going to cover a strategy that will help you achieve the most efficient results when delivering bad news in the workplace, be it to your employee, a coworker, or your customer. There is one goal to keep in mind in the lesson today. That is, we want to limit the disruptive emotions the receiver feels from your message. Because what happens when emotions escalate? The accuracy of the message you want to deliver is distorted, and your time will be spent mitigating this backlash. Now, there are 4 steps to delivering bad news. And within the steps, there is one secret ingredient that I'm going to reveal to you. The secret ingredient is the passive voice. And with this trick, you don't identify the culprit, but the emphasis is on the action itself. So listen to this. "Miss, I have denied your travel request. You let your points expire. You cannot use expired points to book a flight." Compared to, "Miss, the travel request is denied because the points have expired and cannot be used." So in the second version, the culprit was not identified. The emphasis was on the action itself. The points have expired. They cannot be used. That's called a passive voice. There are many reasons why developing these skills is very important in the workplace, but I'll name a few. To start off, there's no advantage to hurting somebody's feelings. Another reason, in an article posted in Psychology Today, psychologist Harriet Lerner says that when we feel threatened, when we take news personally, our central nervous system overheats, which really disengages our ability to take on new information. And that's a problem when you're trying to communicate with somebody. Another reason is you are representing the company. So it's in everybody's best interest that you are very diplomatic in these situations. And being diplomatic means navigating these social situations with grace, so that by the end, when you're trying to balance the needs of yourself and the other person, nobody's feelings are hurt. So far, most of my time has been focused on how the message is heard by the receiver. But we know that's not the only part of communicating effectively. It starts with the sender. And when delivering bad news, that means you. So you really need to learn these skills and practice them, because just the same way that nerves can distort things for the receiver, your emotions can really play a trick on your mind. Nobody likes to give bad news, and there is only one way to get good at it. You learn the skill and you practice, practice, practice. And now, the 4 parts of the bad news message I had mentioned earlier, I will reveal to you. The first part of the bad news message is the buffer. The second part is the justification. The third is the bad news and a redirection. The fourth is a positive closing. Now, the buffer is setting the tone, a neutral tone, perhaps a compliment, getting them ready for the bad news that's going to come next. The justification explains the context for the bad news. The bad news itself is the key timing to use passive voice. However, if you're implying bad news with a passive voice, it is so important that your message is concise. There's no room for misinterpretation here. You're not hiding the bad news. You're simply lessening the negative impact. And then you put in the redirection. So you shift the receiver's attention. It's like you tell them, you didn't win, but here's your consolation prize. And then you close on a positive note, and that might look like a benefit statement. And it is tough to get it right every time. The best thing you can do is plan and practice. So the employer at the airlines could enlist their employees in a training session for how to deliver bad news, in which everybody comes together and scripts and plans these sentences for their customer service interactions. Yeah. So let's put it all together with a buffer, a justification, the bad news in a passive voice, and end it in a positive note. Let's give it a try. Miss, congratulations on graduating from Coast Mountain College. You sure do deserve this trip to Mexico. I'm sorry, but the travel request is actually denied because the travel points have expired and cannot be used at this time. However, I want to keep you as a loyal customer, so let me tell you about this seat sale that starts tomorrow for 75% off the price. Yeah, sold! Going to Mexico! So I think you can see the benefit of delivering this message with a passive voice. Way more desirable outcome. Thank you so much to everybody for your time today and listening to this lesson on communication in the workplace. I want to encourage everybody to plan ahead and use their time to practice, even in their households with their loved ones or with your friends, wherever it may be. There's no doubt that communication is one of the most important life skills. It is essential in the workplace. Have a great day, everybody.